Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into something really big, really fascinating. We're talking about the question of whether or not we're alone in the universe.
It's a classic, isn't it?
It is. It's one that I think has captivated humanity for, well, probably as long as we've been looking up at the stars. And you've sent in some incredible articles and research about exoplanets, the search for life. It's just, well, it's mind-blowing stuff.
Definitely.
Just the sheer number of planets out there.
It's incredible.
Trillions.
Trillions, yeah. And every time we look deeper, every time we develop new technology, we find more. And not just more, but such incredible variety.
Right. That's what got me, too. It's not just like, oh, more planets. Like, whoa, look at the crazy configurations, the different sizes, compositions. I mean, some of the stuff out there is just wild.
Totally. Gas giants, dwarfing Jupiter, tiny rocky worlds, planets orbiting multiple stars. It really makes you wonder what kind of life could exist out there.
Okay, so a lot of the material you sent focuses on this idea of a habitable zone, right? That Goldilocks region around a star where conditions might be just right for liquid water and potentially life.
The habitable zone is definitely a key concept. It's basically that sweet spot, not too hot, not too cold, where liquid water could exist on a planet's surface. And as we know, water is pretty essential for life as we know it.
So does that mean like every planet in a habitable zone is teeming with aliens?
Not quite. It's definitely not that simple. A planet in the habitable zone is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of other things to consider. A planet's atmosphere, its magnetic field, its geological history. You need a lot of things to go right for life to emerge and evolve.
Like winning the cosmic lottery, maybe.
In a way, yeah. And to try to understand those odds, that's where we get into this fascinating thing called the Drake equation.
Okay, yeah, the Drake equation. It always seemed a bit like, I don't know, like trying to do a magic trick with the entire universe. You're trying to quantify something so vast and unknown. How many civilizations are out there?
Exactly. It's not about getting a definitive answer. It's more like a thought experiment, a way to frame the question in a structured way. So the Drake equation breaks down all these different factors, things like the rate of star formation, the fraction of stars with planets, the number of those planets that could support life, and so on.
And it's not just a one and done thing, right? As we learn more, as our understanding of the universe evolves, we can refine those variables in the equation. So we're constantly getting a clearer picture.
Exactly. New discoveries, new data, it all feeds back into the equation. Like just a few decades ago, we had no idea how common exoplanets were. Now we know they're everywhere. That changes the whole calculation.
So more planets, better chances for life, at least statistically. But then we bump into this, well, this paradox, right?
You're talking about the Fermi paradox.
Yeah. If, as the Drake equation suggests, there's the potential for so much life out there, where's everyone? Why haven't we heard from anybody? It's like the universe is throwing a party and we haven't gotten an invitation.
The great silence, as some call it. And it's a real head scratcher. There's no easy answer, but there are some intriguing possibilities.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
Well, one possibility is that intelligent life is just really rare. Maybe the conditions needed for life to arise and evolve to a technological level are just so specific that it's only happened once here on Earth. We might be a cosmic fluke.
Whoa. That's kind of a humbling thought, isn't it?
It really is. But there's another theory, something called the Great Filter.
The Great Filter, what's that?
The idea is that at some point in a civilization's development, it hits a barrier, some kind of obstacle that prevents it from reaching that level of interstellar travel, communication, and so on.
A barrier. Like what?
It could be technological, environmental, maybe even something sociological. We just don't know.
That's pretty intense. So maybe everyone else hit that filter and, well, didn't make it.
It's a possibility, and it kind of makes you think about our own trajectory, doesn't it? What challenges might we face as we continue to develop as a species?
Definitely food for thought. But is it possible that we're just not looking in the right way? Or that we're misinterpreting the signals we're receiving? I mean, the universe is a pretty big place.
That's true. Our technology, our understanding of the universe, it's still limited. Maybe we're looking for the wrong things, listening on the wrong frequencies. Maybe we've already detected something and just don't realize it yet.
Like we're getting a cosmic phone call, but we don't recognize the ringtone.
Something like that. It's also worth remembering that the universe is full of strange and wondrous phenomena. Distinguishing a truly artificial signal from all that natural background noise, that's a huge challenge.
So, a lot of unknowns, a lot of possibilities. But it seems like overall, the search for extraterrestrial life is gaining momentum. There's more research, more missions, more people looking than ever before.
Without a doubt. There's a real sense of excitement and anticipation in the field right now, and a lot of that stems from the incredible advancements in technology.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear more about that, about those cutting-edge tools and techniques we're using to listen for those faint whispers from across the cosmos. But I think this is a good spot to take a quick break. When we come back, let's dive deeper into those new avenues of exploration and see what the future might hold for the search for extraterrestrial life.
So before the break, we were getting into these techno-signatures, which are really changing the game when it comes to looking for ET.
Yeah, it's not just about listening for radio signals anymore, is it?
Nope, not at all. We're looking for any sign of technology, really. Industrial activity, large-scale energy usage, even massive engineering projects.
Megastructures.
Yeah.
Like, imagine spotting an alien Dyson sphere from light years away. That'd be pretty wild.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it? And it's not just theoretical, We're actually looking for signs of those kinds of things.
And one of the articles you sent pointed out that we might be giving off our own technosignatures right now, without even meaning to.
Exactly. Think about all the radio waves, satellite transmissions, even the light pollution we generate here on Earth, all that's radiating out into space. To a sufficiently advanced civilization, that could be a pretty clear sign, hey, intelligent life here.
It's kind of trippy to think about, isn't it? Like, we might be announcing ourselves to the cosmos without even realizing it.
Right. And who knows who might be listening. But let's get back to those tools and techniques we were talking about. You mentioned advances in telescopes, things that are really revolutionizing the search. What are some of the big ones?
Well, the James Webb Space Telescope has been making headlines, right? Those images it's sending back are just incredible.
Oh, the James Webb is a game changer, no doubt. Being out in space, above Earth's atmosphere, it can capture images and data that are just mind-blowingly sharp and detailed.
But how does that help us look for life,
Yeah.
specifically?
It's all about the instruments. The James Webb has some incredible tools for analyzing the atmospheres of exoplanets. It can break down the light passing through those atmospheres, looking for the chemical fingerprints of different gases.
So, like cosmic spectroscopy, looking for the telltale signs of life in those alien atmospheres.
You got it. And one of the big things we're looking for is a combination of gases that wouldn't really make sense unless there was some kind of biological process going on.
Like what?
Well, oxygen is a big one. But finding oxygen on its own, that doesn't necessarily mean life. You need to see it in combination with other gases like methane or nitrous oxide. Finding those together in certain ratios, that's a pretty strong hint that something biological might be going on.
It makes sense. Life as we know it, it's all about that exchange of gases, right? Plants produce oxygen, animals breathe it in, exhale CO2, and so on.
Yep. It's all part of the intricate web of life. And while we can't rule out the possibility of life that's based on completely different chemistry, looking for those familiar biosignatures is a good place to start.
Right, it's like we're following the trail of cosmic breadcrumbs, hoping they lead us to something amazing.
Exactly. And those breadcrumbs, they're not just out there in distant star systems. We're also looking for signs of life a little closer to home.
Oh, yeah. Like where?
Well, Mars has always been a prime target, hasn't it? We've got rovers up there right now, exploring, drilling, looking for any hint that life might have existed there, or maybe even still does.
I was reading about those rovers. It's so cool what they're doing. Exploring ancient lake beds and river deltas, looking for signs of past life, even digging into the subsurface.
It's pretty incredible. Some scientists believe that microbial life could still be clinging to existence beneath the Martian surface.
Wow. Imagine that. Tiny Martian microbes hiding out in those underground aquifers.
But are there any other places in our solar system that could be harboring life?
There are some pretty exciting possibilities out in the outer solar system. In particular, there are these icy moons, Europa and Enceladus. They orbit Jupiter and Saturn, respectively.
And what's so interesting about them is that they both seem to have these vast subsurface oceans of liquid water.
Oceans under the ice.
Yep. And those oceans might be heated by tidal forces from the giant planets they orbit. There could even be hydrothermal vents down there.
Like the ones we find deep in our own oceans. Those places that are teeming with life, even without sunlight.
Exactly. And the possibility of life existing in those hidden oceans, it's one of the most exciting prospects in astrobiology today.
So we've got rovers on Mars, missions planned to these icy moons. It seems like the search for extraterrestrial life is really heating up, both near and far.
It definitely is. And while we haven't found that definitive eureka moment yet, Every new discovery brings us a little closer to answering that big question. Are we alone?
The suspense is killing me. But as we continue this search, I think it's important to consider not just the science, but also the bigger implications, the philosophical, even ethical dimensions of potentially encountering another intelligent species.
Absolutely, that's a crucial point. Finding extraterrestrial life, especially intelligent life, would be a profound event for humanity. It would challenge our beliefs, our values, our entire understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe.
One of the articles talked about how contact with an alien civilization could impact our religions, our philosophies, even our political systems. It's almost impossible to wrap your head around all the potential consequences.
Right. It's a topic that has fascinated philosophers and science fiction writers for a long time. How would we even communicate with a civilization that might have a completely different way of thinking, a different understanding of the universe?
It's a lot to ponder, for sure. But maybe that's for another deep dive. For now, let's shift gears a bit and explore something a little closer to home, the world of extremophiles.
Ah, yes. Extremophiles. Those amazing organisms that thrive in the most extreme environments here on Earth.
Exactly. They're like the ultimate survivors, living in boiling hot springs, freezing cold deserts, even places with intense radiation.
They really push the boundaries of what we consider habitable, and they give us a glimpse into the incredible resilience of life, a hint at what might be possible out there in the universe.
And I have to ask about tardigrades. I mean, those microscopic creatures can survive pretty much anything, right? Extreme temperatures, radiation, even the vacuum of space.
Tardigrades are incredible, aren't they? They're like the ultimate cosmic hitchhikers. And their ability to survive such harsh conditions has led to some really interesting speculation about panspermia.
Panspermia.
Yeah, the idea that life could actually travel from one planet to another, maybe on asteroids or comets. So life on Earth, it could have originated somewhere else entirely, brought here by one of these interstellar travelers.
Whoa, that's blown my mind a little bit. But it makes sense, right? If life can endure those kinds of conditions, then the possibilities for where we might find it are just endless.
You got it. And the study of extremophiles, it's really pushing us to rethink our assumptions about what life is, where it can exist. It's opening up whole new avenues for exploration in the search for extraterrestrial life.
It's amazing how much we can learn from these tiny, tough creatures right here on our own planet. But as we continue to explore, I'm curious, what are some of the big unanswered questions that are still out there? The ones that keep you up at night?
Oh, there are so many. But one that I keep coming back to is, well, the origin of life itself. How did that first spark, that leap from non-living to living matter actually happen? Did it happen here on Earth? Or could it have started somewhere else entirely? And was it a one-time thing, or could life have arisen multiple times in different places? So many questions.
It's incredible to think about those first primitive life forms emerging from, what, like a primordial soup billions of years ago? Are we getting any closer to figuring out how that happened?
Researchers are making progress, definitely. We're learning more about the chemical building blocks of life, the conditions on early Earth. There are some really interesting ideas out there, like the RNA world hypothesis, which suggests that RNA, not DNA, might have been the key player in those early life forms.
RNA world, huh? It's a reminder that life might have taken some pretty wild turns in its early evolution. It might be just one of many possibilities. But zooming out a bit, back to the search for ET. We've talked about the challenges, the possibilities, but bottom line, what do you think? What are the chances we'll actually find proof of an alien civilization in our lifetime?
It's tough to say for sure. I mean, how do you put a percentage on something like that? But I think it's fair to say that the odds are getting better all the time. Our technology is advancing so rapidly, and that's giving us new ways to search, new ways to listen.
It's like we're casting a wider net every year. And one of the articles you sent mentioned SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Can you tell us a little bit about how that project works?
SETI's been going on for decades now. It's basically using radio telescopes to scan the skies, listening for any signals that seem artificial, signals that couldn't have been produced by natural processes.
So trying to pick out a whisper from across the galaxy, that seems incredibly challenging, like finding a needle in a cosmic haystack.
Oh, it's a huge challenge, no doubt. But if we were to actually detect a signal, a real confirmed message from another civilization, I mean, that would be one of the most significant discoveries in human history.
No question. But I know some people are worried about the risks involved. Like, what if sending out our own signals, trying to contact them, what if that attracts the wrong kind of attention?
That's a valid concern. It's something that scientists and ethicists are debating right now. There's no easy answer. We have to weigh the potential benefits against the potential risks.
It's a reminder that as we explore this cosmic frontier, we have to be both curious and cautious. But in the end, I think the desire to know, to understand our place in the universe, that's too powerful to ignore.
Absolutely. The search for extraterrestrial life is a testament to our curiosity, our thirst for knowledge, our drive to explore the unknown.
And even if we never find definitive proof, even if we're alone in the universe, the journey itself is incredibly valuable.
Exactly. It's pushing us to develop new technologies, to expand our understanding of the cosmos, to really appreciate the wonder and diversity of life here on Earth and potentially beyond.
It's been an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from the science of exoplanets to the philosophical implications of contact.
The abundance of planets, the Drake equation, the Fermi paradox, the search for biosignatures and technosignatures, it's a lot to take in, but it's all so fascinating. Everyone listening, keep those minds curious, keep looking up at the stars, and never stop exploring.